Hi, thank you so much for watching. This is a pick a card reading, and this one is called What Does Your Pet Think of You? So this reading is going to be very silly and lighthearted and playful, and definitely not a super serious or heavy reading. It's just meant to be fun. So I do have a slight disclaimer that this might be a little bit biased towards cats because I do have cats myself and they are my favorite animal, but honestly, I want to make this so it can apply to any pet that you have. So it could definitely be applicable to your dog or your rabbit or maybe even your bird. I know some people have pet rats, maybe hamsters, maybe even fish too. I have to say though, even reptiles as well. Honestly, like any pet, you can make it fit. I have to say, probably a cat or dog is going to fit this reading best, but honestly, I want to make this open for all types of pets. So use your intuition, obviously, try to make it fit, see if it works for you. So instead of having crystals to choose from, I have these 3 cat toys. So pile number 1 is this crinkly red ball thingy, whatever this is. Pile number 2 is this fluff ball. It's very fluffy and pale blue, super soft. And pile number 3 is this jiggly ball. So it's teal and yellow. So go ahead and pick whichever toy calls out to you the most, whichever one you feel like your animal would enjoy the most, even if it's not a cat. Again, I'm hoping to make this apply to any type of pet, any type of animal. And also, after you watch, if you're curious about which cards I'm using, please stick around to the end and I will go through each pile of oracle cards and tarot cards that I'm using. Okay, so when you're ready, feel free to pick a pile and skip ahead. Hello, pile number 1. So you chose this red crinkly thing. It makes a lot of noise when you squeeze it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get some numbers for you and start with the dice. See what we got. Okay, we have 5, 6, and 13. So I don't know if any of these numbers could apply to you, to your pet. So some of you could have a pet who's 5 or 6 years old, or your pet could be older, maybe close to 13. It could signify the date that you adopted them or their birth date. Anything else? Otherwise, when it comes to the energies of the numbers, so 13 adds to 4. So we have 4, 5, 6 here. So definitely with the 4, your pet feels very comfortable with you. They definitely feel very much at home. And your pet might be like a homebody as well, where if you do happen to take your pet outside or you travel with them, they definitely love just being at home all day. With number 5, this is a very playful number. So your pet is definitely a kid at heart, despite their age. Especially if they are older, they have like this youthfulness to them, and even if they are still very young, I get the sense that they're just like never gonna grow up and they're just like always gonna be your baby. And then with number 6, your pet is like just a total sweetheart, very nurturing, very giving. Your pet also might get kind of fixated on little details. So if you like make a very subtle change to your home, your pet can really pick up on that. Your pet might be someone who just like sniffs a lot at everything. If you get them a new toy, they will like completely inspect it and just like pay attention to like all the little details here. And then the last thing with the numbers too is that this could also have to do with months. So we have May, June, and then adding up to 4, this would be April. So like April, May, June. So again, like maybe you adopted your pet in spring/summertime, or maybe that's their birthday or anything like that. So we're gonna move on from the dice and let's get into your cards. So we're starting out with the alien cards because I feel like pets are sort of like aliens to us. Like they speak another language, but we still have that like soul bond with them. I don't know. That makes sense to me. So your card is Golden Ratio, Beauty, Nature, and Patterns. Okay, so your pet, this is interesting how I pulled that right after going over the dice, because I feel like there's a sign that there's something about numbers with your pet. So I feel like maybe that could be a sign that the numbers I pulled could have really resonated with you or something to do with your pet. It could also be like your pet could just be like very like organized and detail oriented, or honestly, actually, I'm getting more like your pet notices how detail oriented you are, and they sort of notice that you have like this pattern that you follow. And I know especially if you do have a cat, that cats really do appreciate routine. So that could be something that your pet really admires about you, that you have like this routine down. And I think that helps them feel secure and stable because you have like a specific routine down, like when it comes to them, when it comes to their feeding time or their play time, or they just notice that maybe you always wake up at a certain time. I don't know, something like that, like little rituals you follow that they notice about you. So your next card is from the Unicorn deck. Rose Gold Cosmic Pool. Bathe in cosmic love, soak up wisdom. So your pet definitely has a lot of love for you. We also have all of these animals here. So some of you could definitely have a cat, because we have a cat here, and then it's next to like this tiger too. And then with this wolf, that could be obviously a dog here. We have a deer, we have an owl, which could represent any bird. Some of you might have birds. Some of you might have a horse too, possibly. So we have all these wild animals here. Your pet definitely has a wild side to them, obviously because they are an animal, but they definitely have like this wildness about them. And I think they also see like a wildness in you too, as well. And there's just so much love here. They feel like your pet just feels like you radiate love towards them, and you're just glowing with this beautiful energy towards them. They could also see you as very wise too. And you might ask yourself, well, how would an animal know that I'm wise? But I say that animals, and pets especially, are smarter than we think, and they pick up on more than what we think or what we assume. So your pet does notice that you have a lot of wisdom, and they could see that you make like a lot of wise choices in life. And then for your dragon card, we have the orange dragon. Brings soul families and communities together. Aww. Spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. bring people everywhere together. Okay, so some of you might have multiple pets, or you could live with a family, maybe like a big family too, or maybe you're someone who has your friends over a lot, but I feel like your pet is exposed to either a lot of different people or other animals. Especially with this card too, we have like a whole group of animals, it's not just one. So I do feel like you could have multiple pets, even if it's two, just more than one. And if that's not the case, like I said, like you live with more than one person, or you have a whole family that your pet lives with. So there is a sense of like family and community, and this is really sweet. Like your pet feels like a part of the family, and they feel like they have a distinctive role in your family, So for some of you, your pet might feel like the baby of the family, but I'm also getting like some of you could have a pet who feels like they have like a fatherly role in the family, or like a motherly role or something like that. Like I'm getting all different case scenarios, because I feel like typically we tend to think of our pets as our babies, and some of them genuinely feel like they are your baby or your child. But like, especially if you live with other pets or like a whole family, your pet might see themselves as like more, like I said, more of the motherly or fatherly role, or they could see themselves as the big sister, the big brother, or the little sister, the little brother. So you get what I mean? Like they feel like they have a specific family role, and they kind of pick up on the different roles that everyone else in your family or whoever you live with, whether it's other people or other pets, like they kind of feel that distinct role that everyone has, and they certainly see themselves as a part of it. Okay, so now for your major arcana, we have the World here. I'll show that close up because this is a homemade tarot card. I did not make it myself though. I wish I was that talented. So anyway, the World. So your pet feels really abundant. A lot of you completely spoil your pet, and your pet just feels super spoiled. They feel like they have it all. So you could be someone who really splurges on your animal. Like maybe you buy them toys a lot, or you have like a really nice setup for them. There's like a sense of luxury when it comes to your pet. Like you treat them very well on the material realm. You might overfeed them, possibly. You might give them like excessive treats, or like special types of food, or like they get a nice variety of food. Whatever it is, your pet just feels very spoiled and very abundant. Okay, so you definitely treat your animal like a king or queen here. There could also be, for some of you, you could currently be going through like a huge life change at the moment, and your pet is like strongly aware of this, which again, like you might be thinking, well, how does your animal know that you're going through a huge life change, or you're wrapping up a chapter? Like how would your pet know that? But I'm just getting that they do. Like they sense something, like even if they can't consciously think it or explain it in their mind, it's like something they feel. Like they feel like the vibes are changing whatever it is. So some of you are going through like a huge change in your life, or this could have happened very recently. So maybe you have been in the process of changing jobs or changing homes, which they would obviously pick up on because your home is their home. So that's a definite case scenario. Maybe you recently ended a relationship or got into a new relationship, but there's like big changes that you're going through right now, and your pet like knows this. And I want to say they're very supportive of your changes. I know some animals don't handle change well, especially cats. So they could be a little bit stressed over it, but I think overall, like, they sense a lot of joy. Like, this is a very positive life change that you're going through. So your pet could notice that you're like a lot happier than usual. There's just something like different about your aura and your energy, which animals are definitely very sensitive to. Okay, so those were just this is just the beginning. This reading is already going like much deeper than I expected, and we haven't even got into the rest of the tarot cards. So let's see how this goes. This is getting pretty deep. Page of Pentacles reverse, King of Pentacles reverse, Two of Cups, oh, the Hermit, Five of Wands. This is Ten of Cups, right? Page of Swords reverse, Two of oh my gosh, Two of Swords reverse. Totally slipped my mind for a second. The Empress reverse, and this is Seven of Swords reverse. Okay, so quite a few swords and cups, but honestly, all the elements are showing up. We have Wands, Pentacles. Okay, so let me move this back a little bit and we'll get into it. Okay, so how does your pet feel about you? And remember, it does not have to strictly apply to cats. So this is standing out to me right here. I'm gonna use a pen to point. This is standing out to me right here. This Two of Cups. This is just a really beautiful card. So your pet definitely feels like a strong and emotional bond towards you. That's incredible to see. Like the love is there. They totally feel it for you. And some of you might have two pets, like two of the same kind. So maybe you have two cats or two dogs. Maybe you have a cat and a dog, two guinea pigs, two rabbits, a cat and a guinea pig. Like, you get it. Like, you have two animals for some of you. If you do, this is a sign that like they really like this other animal. Like, they have a really strong bond with them. So not only do they have a strong bond towards you, but also this other animal, if that is the case, if you do have two pets. So there is this closeness there with them, and they're very thankful for this. Even if they sometimes fight, even if you can't always see it, they have like a really strong bond here with this other animal. And even if that doesn't apply, even if you only have one pet, Or maybe you have like a cat and a reptile. Honestly, actually, I was gonna say cats and reptiles actually like love each other. Like you'd be surprised because I've seen it happen before where like the cat just, even if the cat has absolutely no interaction, they love to just watch it. I think the same would be true for a dog, maybe. I don't know. But like, yeah, you'd be surprised like which species actually bond with each other. So yeah, again, like if you have two animals, they definitely have a close connection with one another. Otherwise, this is just a very strong significance that your animal feels a very close bond with you, very deep, very emotional, and very sweet. So what also stands out is we have the hermit here. Okay, so your animal does, first of all, this is Virgo, and then I also want to point out the Empress is Taurus and Libra. So I know a lot of people don't know their animal zodiac signs, but for those who do, Virgo, Taurus, and Libra could be possible case scenarios. Or again, maybe you adopted your animal during one of those seasons. So anyway, with the hermit, like your pet, I feel like they notice that you like to be alone. Sometimes they feel like they might notice that you spend a lot of time alone or by yourself, maybe just like sitting in front of your computer or your phone. And your pet, this is gonna sound kind of silly, I know, but your pet might worry about you. Like they might worry if you feel isolated. Your pet definitely wants you to, and I don't want this to sound bad, so don't get mad at me, but maybe your pet wants you to spend more time with them. They might just see that you're someone who likes to spend a lot of time alone, and maybe your pet might feel like sometimes you ignore them, which I don't mean to sound bad or hurtful, because honestly, like as humans, we are all guilty of this. Like we just sit on our phone and like especially your cat or your dog just kind of sits there staring at you like, give me attention. So your animal could feel that way. They just like, they might feel like they just want a little bit more attention from you. So with this Empress reverse, this kind of also goes hand in hand with the Hermit, where like your pet just wants a little bit more love from you. And like, I'm sure whoever's watching, like you are an amazing owner, and like I'm sure you give your pet plenty of attention, plenty of love. I mean, I pulled the World card, so you obviously spoil them and make them feel very abundant, but your pet might just be one of those like attention needers. There's a word I want to say, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to get flagged or anything, but your animal is a little bit of an attention HO. And I mean, I say that with love. I know I have a cat who just like, you give her all the attention in the world and it's still not enough. So it's definitely not personal. Like your animal just could have like attention issues. So they just want you to give them more love, more attention, more kisses. And I'm sure you already do, but your pet is just like, more. Like it's never enough. Yeah. So what else do I see here? So this 5 of Wands, your animal really likes to play with you. they love when you play games together too, and whenever you do play with your animal, they see that you are like so much fun. Like they have so much fun with you when you do give them attention and when you do play with one another. Like they have a blast with you, and this is so sweet. And they feel like you not only like, you don't just entertain them, but like you challenge them in an exciting way. So you could be someone who, you know, if you have a cat or dog especially, and you like to roughhouse with them, or you like to play hunt, I feel like your games with them are never boring. Like they see it as a challenge, and they really enjoy that. They like playing like intellectually stimulating games with you, for sure. What else? This Two of Swords, I get that your cat sees you as someone who's very focused, and this is like a repeating message, like paying attention to the details. I don't know how, but your pet sees that you're someone who like looks at things very closely, and you just have a lot of focus. You zone in on things. And that could maybe be why sometimes they feel like you're not giving them as much attention as they want, because you can get like really fixated on something, especially like on your phone or on your computer, like especially if you're someone who like works from home or you do homework on your computer. They notice that you just like zone in completely on whatever you're doing, to the point where like they're like, do you even notice me? Like, do you even notice I'm still here in the room? Because you will just like completely zone them out, and not in a bad way. Like it's great. It's great to have focus, but your cat is like, wow, you have like, sorry, your pet or your cat is like, wow, you have like razor sharp vision. The other swords we pulled is Seven of Swords in reverse. So this is also gonna sound funny, but your pet sees you as someone who's like very honest, very smart too. Like I'm just picking up on like a lot of intelligence and a lot of mental strength. And again, like don't ask me how, but your pet notices that you're very smart. That's what they think of you, as someone very smart. You know a lot, and you're also very honest too. I mean, I feel like I can kind of understand animals, and especially cats or dogs too, like being able to tell if a person is honest or not, because like I think humans are easily fooled because we take words to heart, but animals are like looking at actions too. So like if you say something in a certain tone but your body language says something else, I think it is very obvious to animals or pets that you're lying. So I feel like your animal, like your pet, knows that you are a very honest person too, and very intelligent as well. We also have 10 of Cups. So this is really beautiful too. It's kind of similar to the Two of Cups in that there's total emotional fulfillment. Like your pet is completely fulfilled from you emotionally. Okay, so even though I said before, like your pet does want more attention, but like that's not something to get worried about, because despite that, they do feel completely emotionally fulfilled by you. And they do see that you give them your all, and you're honest about it too. Like you don't fake your love towards your pet. Like they can definitely pick up on the fact that your love for them is true and genuine, and they understand that they're not just your pet, like they're not an accessory to you, like they are a family member, and they feel that very strongly. So then we have these two pages in reverse. So Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles. So we also have King of Pentacles reversed. So these are about communication. First of all, Page of Swords is kind of like the spy card, like spying on you card. So I do feel like your pet likes to spy on you, especially if you do have a cat, because cats are natural spies, I have to say, like almost in a creepy way. Like they're always watching you. So I think your pet like watches you like way more than you realize. And like I said, you could be totally zoned out, like focusing really hard on a task, and your pet is there like observing every single detail that you're doing, and like kind of like a creepy way if it was a human, but because it's your pet, it's just like absolutely adorable. So sweet. Kind of similar message with the Page of Pentacles too. I think another thing is that the Page of Pentacles upright is like the student, but the Page of Pentacles reverse, I feel like it's kind of like the opposite, like the teacher or the master. So I think your pet has learned a lot from you. Some of you could have trained your pet. Some of you could have, especially if it's a dog too, you could have taught them a lot of tricks. And even if it's a cat, cats can be trained, but like in very different ways than a dog. It's almost kind of like more psychological with a cat. So I have to say, you have taught your cat a lot. And that's probably why your pet, again, doesn't have to be a cat, but why your pet sees you as so smart and so wise too. We pulled wise earlier because your pet has actually learned so much from you, even simply by observing you. And then the last card I'm gonna hit is King of Pentacles reverse. So this is kind of about like being spoiled. So your pet definitely recognizes the fact that you spoil them. Like the King of Pentacles is kind of like overdoes it, overindulges, like spending a lot of money on your pet or feeding them too much or giving them a lot of treats, even when they don't deserve it necessarily. But your pet definitely recognizes the fact that you spoil the heck out of them, which makes them very abundant for sure. So concluding this reading, I would say the overall message is that your pet has learned a lot from you. They think you're very smart. Some of you have trained your pet, and some of you, just from your pet watching you, they've learned a lot. They've gained a lot of wisdom. There's definitely a very strong emotional connection here with these Cups cards. And your pet recognizes the fact that you spoil them, you overindulge them. And that could honestly be why they feel like they want more attention, because like you give them so much attention that it like makes them want even more. Like they expect it at this point. They're very demanding of you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that reading. If it didn't resonate, you can always check out another pile. And remember, this is just like a really fun reading. So like, I hope you weren't offended by anything. Like that's definitely the opposite of my intentions here. Like this is just supposed to make you feel good and make you laugh too. So go tell your pet that you love them right now. Tell them how much you love them, even though I'm sure you do it all the time anyway. And please keep up with your support. Thank you so much for supporting me, for the likes, the thumbs ups, the positive comments, and thank you for subscribing too. Namaste. Hey, pile number 2. So you chose this blue little fuzzy, this pale blue. It's squishy too. I love this toy. So let's go ahead and see what does your pet think of you. So I'm gonna pull up some numbers by rolling the dice, and then we'll get into your cards. Okay, we have 2, 7, and 12. Okay, so for some of you, any of these numbers could be significant. Okay, so it could have to do with your pet's age. You could have a pet who is 2 years old, 7 years old, 12 years old. This could have to do with the date that they were born or the day you adopted them. This could also refer to months. So February, July, I believe, and then 12 would be December. And 1 plus 2 adds to 3 as well, so March. So March, December, February, or July it could be your pet's birthday month or adoption month. And now, just looking at the energy of these numbers, so 2 is really beautiful. It's all about bonds. So you definitely have a very strong bond with your pet. Some of you could have 2 pets, some of you could have 3, and a very select few of you could have 7 animals if you're a diehard pet lover. I mean, I would love to have 7 cats personally if I could afford it. So good for you if you do have 7 animals. Okay, so anyway, very strong bond here, very strong connection with your pet with the number 2. The number 7 is like, in numerology, this is typically like a solo number. So definitely a good amount of you could be watching this and you only have 1 animal. And then 12 is kind of like, this is gonna sound silly, of course, because this is a pet reading and it's very silly, but 12 is kind of about like secrecy. So you could just have a very like quiet and chill pet. Okay, maybe like if it's a dog, maybe they don't really bark a lot. If it's a cat, maybe they're not very vocal, etc. So this could be like a very quiet animal that you have, or just like very cool, very chill, relaxed maybe. Also 12 is all about wisdom too. So some of you, your animal is very old. They might be towards the end of their life, possibly for some of you. Or they could just be like an old soul despite the age. So maybe they just maybe they're a little bit on the slow side. I get that your animal is not gonna be super active for your species, or they're just like, I don't know, they could be very mature for their age, which I know is silly to say about an animal, but hey, that's how it is. Okay, so putting your numbers aside, let's get into the actual card. So I'm starting out with the alien deck because I feel like animals are kind of like aliens because they speak a foreign language, but we have like this connection with them. So we have Syrians, B. Responsibilities, lessons, growing up. Wow. So your pet is definitely like an old soul here, which I know I think about humans as like new souls and old souls. I have to admit, I've never really thought about animals that way, but like I'm definitely seeing that your pet is like an old soul. This is definitely not their first incarnation. So some of you could have especially if you're like a bit older and you had like a previous pet during your childhood who ended up passing away. This could definitely be your pet's second incarnation in your life, okay? So for example, if you had like a childhood cat who your mom or dad had and then they passed away as you got older, and maybe now you adopted a new cat, and this could definitely be the same exact soul, just in a different body. Okay, so, but whatever the case, I feel like this is definitely not the first time that your pet has incarnated. And this is gonna get really deep, but like for some of you, your pet could have even possibly experienced life as a human before, or multiple times. And they could have made, like, if you believe in this, they could have made a choice to specifically incarnate as a pet just so that they could be your pet and be close to you, which is like so sweet. I definitely feel like pets, their souls choose us, and there's like this soul plan for them to come into our lives at the right time. You know, I don't think anyone's pet is ever really a coincidence. So wow. Also with them seeing like the mermaids here, and I know this is like a water planet, your pet could definitely love water. So some of you, they might go swimming, especially if you have a dog. You might have a cat, and cats generally get a rep for not liking water, but maybe your cat really does. Or maybe they're like, you go to spray them and they're just like completely unfazed because they don't mind water, possibly. Or maybe your pet just like drinks a lot of water, like an excessive amount, and not even due to a health issue. It's just like they just really like to stay hydrated. Okay, so your next card, Cosmic Emerald. Create perfect health, excess divine abundance. Okay, so this is a really good omen of good health. I feel like your pet is in really good condition. I feel like your pet could definitely live to a very old age. For some of you, your pet is already like super old, and you might be surprised that they have even lived this long because they were just like blessed with good health. And if you do have a young pet, this could definitely be a sign for many of you that your pet will live for a very long time, or they will have very minimal health issues, if any, in their life. So with this card, I'm seeing like really good health too. And if you yourself are someone who's really healthy, like you eat healthy, you exercise, this is definitely something that your pet picks up on, and like they notice your healthy habits. Some of you might even like, maybe in the past you never thought too much about your pet's health, but maybe you're recently trying to improve their health. So maybe you're getting them more exercise, or you know, you're decreasing their meals, you're measuring their meals because you want them to be healthier, you want them to be in better shape. And if this is the case, your pet is definitely picking up on this. They definitely notice these changes. And I think, like, you would assume not, but I think pets kind of do have a better understanding of health than we give them credit for. Because I think there's so much, honestly, like pets might even be healthier than, or animals in general might even be healthier than humans, because they're so much more connected to their bodies than we are. As humans, we tend to just live in our heads and we just overthink every single thing. But animals, like, they're in their bodies, like they feel what's going on with their bodies. So like they know when they're eating too much, They know when they're getting stomach aches, when they're throwing up. So your pet could be, if you have been making these changes recently, your pet could be like feeling better, like they feel like they have more energy, or they're having better digestion. Maybe they used to throw up a lot, or they used to have some potty problems or litter box problems, and now they're not really having that anymore. So yeah, it's definitely something about health improving here, or maybe it's always been really good. So yeah, anyway, moving on. Earth and Water Dragon creates the foundation for new growth. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. Okay. Okay, so this card is definitely predictive of major changes coming your way. I feel like these changes are definitely affecting your pet, and even if they don't directly affect your pet, it's like something that your pet is noticing and picking up on. I kind of got a similar vibe for pile 1 as well, where like you could be going through this huge life change. Maybe you already started, or maybe this is more predictive of what's to come very soon. But like some of you, if you're starting a new job, or you're leaving an old relationship or starting a new relationship, just things like major life changes that you wouldn't think that your pet would notice. Like they definitely feel this. They can definitely feel that you are going through things for the better too. Like they're picking up on these positive changes. They might notice that you're just happier in general. And with this health card too, they could definitely notice that like you're healthier, like you're making healthier decisions, not only for yourself but also for them. Like you're making health a priority now, and yeah, you're just going through this major life change, or you're about to, and your pet definitely notices this and picks up on this. Okay, and then we have Judgment. Wow. Okay, so I get a strong message for this. This definitely confirms that your pet is totally reincarnated. And like I said, maybe this is a childhood pet that you had who passed away, and now they're back in a new body. And if that's not even the case, like this was your pet in a past life, like 100%. Because this is all about like renewal and vitality. So yeah, there's something about like your pet has incarnated many times with you, like not just on their own and not just like in other families, like with you. Like this has been your pet for so many lifetimes, which is like an incredible message to hear. So that's really beautiful. So I'm gonna move this aside and let's pull some tarot cards. I will put this right here. Okay. Hopefully we have enough space here. Okay, 4 of Cups. For how does your pet see you? 4 of Wands. All right. Pulling some 4s. Temperance in reverse. 2 of Pentacles. King of Swords. Death in reverse. Okay, let's take a moment to laugh at this card, especially if you have pets. The Death card is a vacuum cleaner. And you see the cat's tail just running away, like absolutely terrified. Let me focus that. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Okay. Moving forward. Okay, this is 4. Okay, 4 of Swords in reverse. Knight of Pentacles. Ace of Wands in reverse. And 8 of Cups in reverse. Okay, so what does your pet think of you? Okay, let me just fix this. Take this in for a moment. Okay. All right, just give me a quick second to take this in. So I will start with the major arcanas. So Temperance and Death. So regarding zodiac signs, we have Sagittarius and Scorpio. So some of you yourselves could be Sag or Scorp, or your pet could be a Sagittarius or a Scorpio, or this could represent the time that you adopted them. So you could have adopted your pet during, that would be any time from late October to late November, possibly could have been when you adopted your pet. So besides that, so Temperance reverse. So your pet sees you as someone with a lot of like chaotic energy. And I mean that in the best way possible. I think honestly your pet could see you as a little bit moody. And again, I mean that in the best way possible. This reading is not meant to offend anyone, but your pet can definitely get like a lot of unpredictable energy from you. So like maybe one day you give them a lot of attention and then the next day you're really busy, you're focused on someone else. Maybe they can really pick up on your moods, and some days you're really happy, some days you're really upset. So I feel like your pet, like, they never really know what to expect from you. Like, you definitely keep them on their toes or keep them on their paws for some of you. They just like, they see you as someone who's like very unpredictable. Like they don't know. Yeah, I think I summed it up. Like they don't really know what to expect from you in general, which is not like a bad thing, you know. I think it keeps them entertained, it keeps them challenged. It's like it keeps them from feeling stiff and bored. And now the Death card in reverse. Okay, this is like yet another confirmation that this is a reincarnated pet. Like, this reading is giving me so many signs, so many confirmations, like, because this is, to me, is like coming back from the dead, like resurrection, just like judgment day here. Okay, old soul, the number 12, past life. This card too, with the growing up and the old soul thing. So yes, yet I'm repeating myself at this point, but yet another confirmation that your pet has reincarnated many times with you too, possibly in this lifetime. And if you're like, I know I said twice, but like if you're older than like you know, if you're middle-aged or past middle-aged, this could be multiple times. This could be 3, 4, 7 times maybe for some of you, depending on the animal. Like, it's really sweet. Like, every time you lose them, they come back to you. Like, their soul is just completely attached to you. That's really beautiful. So what else do we have here? We have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is like a really funny card here. It's just like sitting at the table. So this just screams like mature. Like, your animal is very mature, which I know is like really funny to say about an animal, but like, it's true, because the Knight of Pentacles is like super grown up. Like, they're patient, they're understanding, they appreciate stability too. I also feel like your animal feels very secure with you. So even though you do have this chaotic energy here where, like, maybe you're a little bit moody and they pick up on that, or maybe you're just someone who is not very good with routine, so you're just like, you're adventurous, maybe you take them on adventures too. Maybe you travel with your animal and they never know when the next trip is going to be. So it's just like really unpredictable energy. But like, when it comes to your bond with one another, they see a lot of stability here, especially with like the multiple incarnations and coming back together after life, after death. It's like they know that they can count on you. They're never anxious over the fact that you're not going to feed them or you're not going to care for them anymore. Like, they know that you will never leave them. You will never abandon them. And they're like very sure of that. And I do feel like this is an older animal for a majority of you, to the point where like, you two have been through a lot. Maybe you went through periods of separation. If you are someone who travels a lot and you left them with an animal sitter or something, a pet sitter, I guess, and like, they know that you'll always be back. You could have a job maybe that like requires you to put in overtime here and there, so like, they don't always know when you're gonna come home, but like, they know you'll be there, like, which is so sweet. Like, they have no doubt that you're gonna be there for them. The King of Swords, so they do see that you have a lot of power here with this King card coming out upright. So, and whether you are male or female, they do see that you have a lot of masculine energy, and the fact that you definitely, like, how to show dominance over your animal. You know how to control them. You know how to put them in their place when they're doing something bad. So like, your pet knows that if they're ever acting out, like, you will not hesitate to put them in their place. Like, if they're being bad, you're like, nope. And you're very direct too with your communication. Like, you'll be very quick to be like, no, you can't do that. And like, they know when they're being bad, because you're gonna tell them right away. Okay, what else do we have here? We have, so this Four of Wands is really nice. So this card is like about like having like a stable home. So it kind of brings the same energy as this Knight of Pentacles, where like, your pet sees that you can offer them a very stable home. Even if you are someone who travels a lot, or maybe you go away a lot, or you work long hours, like, they feel very secure in their home life, and they feel a lot of stability. They know that they're being taken care of. Some of you could be married to just a select few of you. If that is the case, definitely your pet like loves your husband or wife if you do have one, or if you have like a long-term commitment or whatever. your animal definitely really likes them, even if they don't want to admit it. They have a lot of happiness. Yeah, and your pet also sees you as excitable too, someone who likes to celebrate too. So maybe something you'll get in a good mood and you'll just like spoil them with like affection or treats. Your pet also sees that you have this shy side to you as well. So they could see you as, whether you consider yourself shy or not, I feel like your animal sees you as someone who is more like on the shyer, maybe introverted side. And you're very sensitive too. You yourself might like to spend a lot of time at home, a lot of time in solitude. Your pet could see that you're someone who does things kind of cautiously. Even if you're coming in with even if you sometimes come in with this chaotic energy, but for the most part, they know that they can count on you. And when you do make changes, it's with caution. It's never too much at once, if that makes sense. With this Two of Pentacles, your pet sees that you are someone who's very busy. You could be someone who works a lot. Maybe you clean a lot as well. You're always cleaning up the home, you're cleaning up after them, or you're just you're always doing something. Even if you do spend a lot of time at home, you're always doing something, and they can see that. You have all these projects going on, and you're not just someone who kind of just lays around. Okay, now with this Eight of Cups in reverse, so Eight of Cups itself is about going away and taking space, taking distance, but when it's reversed, it's coming back. So again, when you do go out and when you do take distance from your pet, they always know that you're gonna come back to them. So if that's something that you worry about, before you go on a long trip, or if you're stuck at work for longer than usual, you might be someone who's is my pet worried about me? Do they think I abandoned them? I think you don't have to worry about that, because your pet you have this understanding with your pet, and this acknowledgement that despite the distance, you will always come back to them, which is very sweet. We have this Ace of Wands reverse. So I think sometimes you might get a little angry sometimes, especially if your animal is acting out and being bad. Your pet can notice moments of frustration, I feel which is totally normal. It's totally human. We all get angry sometimes, but your pet can definitely pick up on this when you're just in a bad mood and you just totally ran out of patience. You have absolutely no patience sometimes. And your pet is oh, gotta steer clear. Okay, and then your last card I didn't hit was Four of Swords reverse. So there could be this restless energy about you that your pet notices. You might suffer from insomnia here and there, or you might have difficulty with your sleep schedule or something like that. So that could also be something that your pet really notices and picks up on. Okay, and that is basically the gist of what I have. So I hope that was entertaining for you. I hope it made you laugh. If you feel like it didn't resonate, you can always pick another pile. And I want to thank you so much for your support, for liking and commenting and subscribing. Really awesome. I really appreciate it. And I wish you many blessings. Hey, pile number 3. So you chose this jiggly ball. It is half teal or blue and half yellow. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. What does your pet think of you? So I'm gonna start with some numbers. I'm gonna roll the dice and then I'll get into your cards. So, okay, oh, we have 0. Interesting. 4 and 12. Also 1 plus 2 adds to 3. So first of all, ages. So some of you have a little newborn, a little baby. They could be less than 1 year old, which would make them 0. You could have like a little kitten, a little puppy or something like that. Or maybe you've owned them for only less than a year. Your pet could be 4, they could be 12, they could also be 3. Okay, just some possible scenarios. They might even be 1 or 2 with this here, with the 1 and the 2. We also have, this could apply to months as well. So this would be April, this would be December, and 1 plus 2 is 3, so that could be March. So March, April, or December could be either when your pet was born or maybe the month that you adopted them. Okay, and maybe the 4th or the 12th could have to do with something. So those are possible case scenarios. And now just looking at the energy of these numbers. So the number 4 relates to, well, it's all about stability and structure here. So you could be very routine when it comes to your animal, or they could be someone who really values routine, you know, like getting fed at the same time each day, or going on a walk at a certain time, or just like having these rituals that they really value. This is also a sign that your animal feels very comfortable and very cozy with you. They love cuddles as well. They really love to cuddle with you or have pets from you or whatever it is, obviously depending on the animal. And the number 12. So the number 12, this is going to sound kind of silly, but the number 12 has to do with like secrets. So your pet could be someone who's, I don't want to say secretive because that's going to sound super silly, but maybe they're just like on the quieter side, or they're just not very vocal. Maybe they don't bark or meow or whatever that much. Pile number 2 also rolled the number 12, so there could be a connection with number 2. And another thing with this number is like 12 is about like an old soul. So your pet could be an old soul. They could literally be very old, or they could just be like mature for their age, which I know sounds silly for a pet, but believe it or not, pets can definitely have maturity levels. And I feel like your pet, they might be a little slower. They might be someone who really enjoys like taking long naps and kind of sleeping all day and just chilling. Okay, they might not be necessarily super active. And then with the 0, this did not come out in the other piles, so very fascinating number. I feel like there could be something like maybe kind of elusive or mysterious about your pet. Okay, so I'm curious to see what the cards will say, but this 0 is like it's kind of like a wild card number. It's like very unpredictable. It represents the Fool in tarot too. So I don't know, there could be something about like a new beginning with this animal maybe. Okay, but yeah, definitely could have been reincarnated many times before as your pet too, maybe in this lifetime and definitely previous lifetimes too. They were your pet before. You definitely have this soul bond with them that goes beyond the material realm. So I'm gonna put this to the side and we will get into your cards. Shadow self, denial, projecting, and shame. Wow, this is kind of an odd card to pull for this specific reading. Okay, so I might need a second to take that in and kind of figure that out. It kind of reminds me of, I have to say, it reminds me of the zero I pulled. Like there's something kind of like mysterious about your pet. I don't know. This is very intriguing. It's kind of like a little bit dark, and this is supposed to be a very lighthearted reading. So, your pet, I feel like your pet is very aware of your shadow side. So you yourself could be someone who's like very dark, or you just have this dark side to you. Okay, you might suffer from low self-esteem. You might suffer from, maybe you're someone who kind of shames yourself. You're ashamed of this part of yourself. And I feel like your pet can pick up on that, which some people would find hard to believe, but pets definitely notice way more than we think that they do. And it's not so much thinking too, but like this is feelings. Like your pet can feel this. Some of you might even have some addictions, or for example, you could have some alcoholic tendencies, or maybe like substance abuse possibly, and your pet notices this, which you wouldn't even think is possible, but like they can just see, like they can see you possibly indulge in certain habits, and it's like your aura goes kind of gloomy. And even if you don't have any addictions, you might just have like a lot of shame regarding certain parts of yourself. And your pet definitely accepts you for who you are. So I feel like this message is coming through saying like, I accept you, and I think you have this really special bond with your pet because they see sides of you that no one else ever has or ever does. So it's like, it's really deep, but like your pet really knows you to the core. Like they know you kind of have this dark side to you, but they completely accept you for it. And I think that's why you have such a strong bond with your pet and why you love them so much, is because they don't judge like a human typically would. Humans are very judgmental, but pets, they love us and they accept us for who we are. We have Ascension Lift. Be prepared for rapid spiritual growth. Be ready for opportunities. Okay, so this card definitely feels very predictive to me. So I get that a lot of you have been going through this like really dark period in your life. Oh, and another possibility too is, maybe you've been crying, again, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're dealing with addictions. I mean, maybe some of you, but this could just be you, like, kind of going through this dark phase in life. And I have to say, like, I did not expect this pet reading to get so deep and dark, but like, it's coming up that you have been going through this really rough period. Maybe you've been just more stressed than normal. Maybe you've been crying and your pet sees that, you know. Maybe you've been showing a very strong and happy face to the world, but behind closed doors, you're sad, you're upset, you could be crying, and your pet is there as your comfort, and they're like the only one, or if you have more than one pet, they are the only ones who can see that and can comfort you during this dark time. But I have to say, this is a super positive card here. This shows that things will get better. So if you do resonate with that, like going through a dark time, this shows me that things are going to get better for you. We have two birds here. We have a unicorn, which could also be like a horse. Some of you might have a horse, but probably not most of you. We also have, yeah, I believe that's a cat. Yeah, that's definitely a cat. And then we have a fox too. To me, a fox is kind of like a blend between a cat and a dog, in my opinion. So yeah, some of you have a cat, dog, a bird, maybe even a horse. But yeah, your pet, I feel like your pet is here with like a spiritual purpose to help you through this dark time. And it's kind of like the universe kind of aligned you to go through this dark time, but to have your pet in your life specifically to help you come out of it and kind of see the light. And if you might even already be feeling this growth, but if not, it's coming very soon, very shortly. And this is a timeless reading, so this is whenever you're watching this video. It doesn't matter when it is, but very soon. There's gonna be some exciting opportunities coming your way, and your pet is like, your pet grows with you. So like, your pet is attached to you on a soul level. So when you grow spiritually, inevitably your pet grows spiritually as well. So it's like you're leveling up and your pet is leveling up too. So yeah, that's really cute. The fire dragon burns up the lower energies around you. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. Okay, so this fire dragon is all about like clearing out the negatives and kind of burning everything down. So right now you could be going through like this destructive period in your life where it feels like things are falling apart, but the reality is that this is to prepare you for things to get so much better. You could be burning bridges with people, you could be cutting ties. And so this is definitely something that your pet picks up on, because I know it seems, don't lose me here, because I swear this is still a pet reading. Like, I know this took a really deep spiritual turn, but I have to say that pets are far more spiritual than we give them credit for. So don't worry, I'm still with you. This is still your pet reading. Although it is pretty deep, but yeah, your pet is here to protect you. And I feel like not so much physically. I feel like a lot of you could have laughed at the thought of like your pet protecting you, especially if you have like a little dog or like a dog that like is definitely not aggressive towards strangers or anything. Like the type of dog that like if your home gets raided, your dog will just like try to make friends with the burglar rather than protect you. Or like your cat would just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're here to protect you, not so much on a physical level, but like definitely on a spiritual level. They're here to help you confront the demons in your life and just clear them away. And there's definitely a new exciting start happening for you, and your pet is really going to pick up on that. Even if it's like a subtle shift in your mood, your pet is going to feel this really strongly. They're going to see that you're getting happier and that you're feeling lighter, and this dark side of you is going to really like subside, and you're going to be leveling up, and your pet is going to be leveling up with you. So you two are in this together. Like, despite how dark things sometimes get, like your pet is always there for you. So wow, okay, so the Major Arcana card, oh my gosh, wait, do you guys hear my cat meowing in the background? Okay, anyways, don't mind her. That's really crazy that the Fool came out as your Major Arcana card. I'll bring it a little closer. I love how she like has her back turned and you just the butt to the face. Classic cat here. So, wow, this is pretty crazy because I pulled the 0. And I know I mentioned in the beginning that like the 0 signifies the Fool. So there's something very significant about the number 0 here. So there's definitely like, sorry, there's just trying to take it all in. There's definitely a sign here that a new beginning is coming. Like, this is very much predictive. Like, you're about to have a new start here, and it's something that's going to affect your pet. Like, if you level up, like I said, like if you level up spiritually, your pet is leveling up right with you, and your high vibrations are their high vibrations. You know, the two of you, you're connected at a spiritual level here. So there is this brand new beginning coming your way. So maybe you're starting a new job, maybe you're moving homes, which could definitely obviously affect your pet because your home is their home. You also pulled 4, which has to do with home. So yeah, a lot of you could be moving in to a new home here. Let me focus that. This could also have to do with like leaving a long-term relationship. Maybe you've been stuck in a toxic relationship for a while. You're finally getting out of it. This could be you entering a new relationship. Okay, so there's many different case scenarios, or just like entering a brand new chapter in your life. And this is definitely a common theme. This is the last reading that I have, the last pile, and the first 2 piles also had something about a new beginning. So that's like a very prevalent theme here, that you're going through this brand new life change and that your pet is right there with you, like feeling it. So, okay, I'm trying to think what else could the Fool represent. Okay, so your pet, just in general, your pet can see you as someone who is just like someone who likes to take a leap of faith. They see you as someone who's very adventurous. You have a very youthful spirit, according to them. Okay. So remember, this is how your pet sees you. Okay, and what they think of you, even if you don't think of yourself in this way, but like your pet sees that you have like a very youthful, energetic, and adventurous spirit. And it could be like the way you talk too is very like enthusiastic, and they really like that about you. you yourself could have a lot of energy, maybe even to the point where like you might even have more energy than your pet does, which is funny. It's usually vice versa, I feel like, but yeah, and they see that you're someone who is just very optimistic, very positive, okay, which is really like interesting and almost kind of ironic because you do have like this shadow self too. So I think they see that like even though you could be going through this dark time and maybe you could have this shadow side of you that gets really dark sometimes, and some of you maybe it causes addiction issues to come up or just moments of like total sadness and despair. They do see that overall you are a very optimistic and positive person, and this shadow side is just a part of yourself. It's not who you are. It doesn't define you. And they see that you're very strong for getting through this dark period of your life. Very strong and brave. Okay, so that was pretty deep. I'm going to take a sip of water and then we'll get into your cards, your tarot cards here. Okay, so we have, this is the Five of Swords in reverse. Try to make enough room here. The Nine of Swords. The Seven of Pentacles in reverse. The Hanged Man. Oh my gosh, do you hear my cat meowing in the background? She's saying hello. Say hello to the other pet lovers out there. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay, you must have heard that. She is so vocal, and I'm sorry for the interruption, but I'm assuming you're a pet lover if you're watching this tarot, so hopefully you enjoy that little shout out from my cat. Anyways, we have Six of Swords here. The Tower, woo! Queen of Cups, reverse. The Three of Cups. Look at this fat cat. The Six of Pentacles, reverse. And the Six of Wands. Okay, so let me just take a second to absorb this and take it all in. Okay, so, all right, starting out with major arcana. So we have the Hanged Man and the Tower. So the Hanged Man for zodiac signs, this is Pisces and this is Scorpio. So some of you yourself could be Pisces or Scorpio, or your pet could be Pisces or Scorpio, or you could have adopted your pet during either of those seasons. Now, looking at the Hanged Man, so your pet sees that you have a lot of patience, and they see that oh my gosh, these readings are just so funny. Your pet sees that you have a lot of patience. You're definitely not a control freak, so they see that you don't really try to control them. Maybe if your pet is especially bad, like they know that they can't be controlled, and they could even know that maybe you struggle to control them. So maybe you do try to kind of train them or put them in order, and they see that you've kind of given up on that. They're like, my mom, my dad, my owner, whatever they call you, they're like cannot control me at all. So they've just gotten to the point where they have given up on me. You could also be someone who, like, with the Hangman and the Tower here, they could also see you as someone who, like, has a lot of patience, especially towards them, like, especially if they're being very bad. Like, you know, you try to ignore them, or you're very patient with them, you're very calm with them, but then, like, all of a sudden this Tower moment happens, and maybe you just, especially if they're being very bad, you just kind of explode, and you're like, stop it right now, like, stop it. And they're like, oh my God, like, they just don't expect it, like, because you'll be super, super calm, super hands off, and then all of a sudden you might just, like, lose your temper at them, and maybe you, like, if it's a cat, you'll, like, squirt them with a spray bottle, or maybe you'll just, like, yell at them and clap at them all of a sudden, like, when they totally least expect it, and they're like, oh my God. So, like, yeah, generally you're very calm and patient with them, but once in a blue moon, you just totally lose it on them, and you just outburst, and they're like, and it always happens when they least expect it. Yeah, I think that's the gist of that message there, that you're prone to very random explosions, but otherwise you keep your cool with them. Okay, moving to other cards. So Queen of Cups in reverse. I feel like your pet definitely feels like they own you rather than you owning them. Especially if you do have a cat, like, I feel like that's how a lot of cats generally think, but, like, especially with this one I'm picking up, like, and even if it is a dog or whoever, like, they kind of feel like they have control over you because they're seeing you as a queen in reverse. So they kind of feel like they own you, they have control over you, they call the shots, like, they run the house, like, they are head of the household, and you're just kind of there to, like, serve them and do what they want, which is, like, absolutely hysterical. Like, they feel like they own you. So with the Five of Swords in reverse, they do see that you like to avoid conflict here, which could be another reason why they feel like they own you, because I feel like your pet definitely has a very strong mischievous side here, and they tend to kind of act out, and, like, they could be very spoiled too, and they do what they want, and you go along with it for the most part until you absolutely lose your patience, and then you just kind of, like, explode at them. But, like, they're definitely, like, a little bit of a rascal here. Like, they do what they want, and you kind of just obey them here, which is, like, so funny, so adorable. Okay, what is this? We have Nine of Swords. So they do pick up on a lot of anxiety. So they do see you as someone who's really anxious, and they know this because animals can definitely pick up on energy, especially when it comes to fear and anxiety. Like, they see that you have a lot of anxiety, especially when you are going through a dark period in life. They see that sometimes you just worry so much, and they can feel that. They can feel how stressed that you get sometimes. And then the other swords, do you hear her again? She will not stop meowing, and she did not do this in the other readings too. She's like, is this pile about me? I think this pile is about me. Okay, anyway, we have Six of Swords. So, okay, Six of Swords. totally going blank for a second. Oh my gosh. Okay, I might have to come back to that one. Okay, what is this one again? I'm sorry, my cat is throwing me off. She's being so vocal. We have, okay, Seven of Pentacles reverse. Okay, so your cat sees that like you're very patient with them, and then it's really the same message. Like, you're patient, but then all of a sudden you become very impatient and you just kind of lose it on them sometimes. All right, what else? Okay, Six of Pentacles reverse. Yeah, I almost feel like your pet kind of takes advantage of you a little bit. Like I said, like, it's a recurring message. Like, they feel like they own you. And I hope you laugh at that message. Like, I hope you don't get offended. Like, I hope you find that funny. I think it's funny. I think you should laugh about it. Because they're here to protect you. Ultimately, your animal is your spiritual protector here. Okay, then we have Six of Wands. So they definitely do see a very passionate side of you. They love playtime with you. It's one of their favorite things. They think that you're very good at playing with them. You know, you don't just, like, when you play with them, it's like with passion and genuine interest. And they like the fact that you like to keep them stimulated and active. And I almost feel like your animal likes to kind of compete with you too. And like, this is just a very like playful energy I'm getting. Your animal is like very competitive when it comes to your relationship, which is like really funny. Like, I'm getting like a power struggle between you and your pet, like fighting over who has the dominance here. It's just like really funny. So with the Three of Cups here, I do feel like there's a lot of fun. Like, even through the power struggle and the power dynamic, like, your pet has a lot of fun with you. They see you as a friend too. I feel like they see you as like a best friend too, like not even just a family member. Like they see you as your best friend. I think they see you two kind of like as equals too. Like, well, okay, let me backtrack. Like, it's kind of this back and forth between who owns who. Like, do you own your pet or does your pet own you? But I think ultimately they do see you as like a friend who's kind of like on their level. It's like they definitely do not think that you own them though, that's for sure. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I know I got a little rambly. Okay, so I think I went through all the cards. We're also pretty much at the end of this reading. I'm just totally going blank on this Six of Swords. I can't really get anything from that specific message, so I'm sorry about that. But I feel like I did say a lot. We are past 30 minutes too, so I think I got the gist here. I just want to give myself a moment in case there is anything that I might have missed. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I said the gist. Definitely went a little bit past my time limit. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading. And if it didn't resonate, you can always check out another pile. And yeah, this is definitely a different type of reading than I've ever been used to. If you enjoyed it, I would love to do more pet readings in the future as well. And I'm totally open to suggestions, so let me know. And Thanks for your support, your likes, comments, subscribing, and if you're curious about which decks I use, then stick around to the end where I will show you. Many blessings. So here are the decks that I used in order. The Mystic Martian Oracle, the Magic of Unicorns Oracle cards, Dragon Oracle cards, Cat Tarot Major Arcana, and Cat Tarot. So all of these are available through Amazon, except this one is actually a gift from my dear friend. Shout out to Laura G, who gifted me this amazing deck. This is from Etsy, so you can look for it. I'm not sure if it's still available. These are homemade and hand-drawn tarot cards, and it is the Major Arcana only. I highly recommend this. It's very unique and it has just that homey touch to it. Otherwise, the rest of these decks should be available through Amazon. So again, thank you so much for watching and thank you for your support. Many blessings and namaste.